Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my worst of 2021 makeup. I'm just going to go through the makeup I've been using this year and just the items that didn't work for me or I just didn't really like. If you wanted to see what my best of 2021 was, I did that video last week and I'll put it in the box above somewhere. And if you wanted to see what my worst of 2020 picks were, I'll also pop that up somewhere on the screen. I would recommend watching that video just because I'm not going to have as many items I think in this video as I had last year just because I've been trying out less makeup and a lot of my worst products are the same products as last year. So I only really was trying a couple new things or like rediscovering things in my collection that I realized I just really don't like. So this isn't going to be like a full face or going through every single stage of my makeup and having a worst product just because I didn't have that many bad products this year. I didn't try that many new things, but I do have some. So without further ado, let's get into it. Starting, I don't think I had any primers that I didn't like. So let's just jump into foundations. I have two here that I kind of want to talk about for that category. The first one is this Glossier Perfecting Skin Tint. The thing with this is it just like doesn't do anything. Like, I feel like if you had the most perfect skin in the world, maybe it would work, but then I don't even know why you bother putting it on because it has like no coverage. Like it literally disappears into your skin. It has no coverage whatsoever. It doesn't even out. So I think if you have like acne ridden skin, it wouldn't work for you. But then if you have like, even if you have like nice skin, I feel like this just wouldn't do anything. Like I just don't see the purpose in something like this. Like I have other skin tints that I like. And even if they don't necessarily cover up, they still like smooth out a little bit. I just literally feel like this is water. It does nothing to me. And the other thing with this is I don't know if Glossier has changed their like range of products, but I want you guys to like look at this product. Like just like look at it in the bottle. This shade is their shade Dark. I don't know what universe this is dark. I feel like this is almost too light for me. So I don't know why they would call it that. Like, it's absurd to me that this is a shade. This shade is called Dark. Like, it's insane. But anyways, I just find this is useless. It doesn't do anything. It was like 20 something dollars, if not more, maybe even like 30. I can't remember. I got this a while ago, but it's just expensive. It doesn't do anything and the shade range sucks. Just like all around, not a good product. There are other Glossier products I like. I like their cream blushes I think are so great. I love their boy brow, like brow gel. They have a lot of stuff I do like. I like a lot of their skin products. Like I've been using their cleanser, their milky like jelly cleanser for like a year, but this is just bad, not good. The other thing I wanted to talk about in the foundation slash skin tint moisturizer category is the KVD Lock-It foundation. I can't remember if I talked about this last year. I probably should have watched that video to make sure I didn't double up. I think I mostly haven't, but it's possible I did double up with this. But my thing with this is it's just like it's too heavy. Like I think it's designed to be for people that need to cover up tattoos or I don't just need really full coverage, but I've tried like other full coverage foundations and they've been good and they've been like a little bit cakey, but definitely like not to the point where I found them like unusable. This just has like a really weird, like really thick consistency that I find really hard to use. I just think it never sinks into your skin. It just looks like you have like applied like a layer of like plaster on top of your face. I just don't like it. There are a lot of KVD products I like. This is not one of them. Moving on to concealer. The only concealer I have to talk about is this Sephora Gel Serum Concealer. I feel like a lot of people love this. It's like one of the products I hear about a lot when people talk about like Sephora collection products that are like worth buying. But my issue with this is I feel like the texture is kind of weird. Like I get that it's supposed to be a serum thing, but I find it like, again, it doesn't sink into my skin. It just like kind of like, I feel like puts like a thick layer under my eyes, which I really hate. Yeah, I don't love it. I think the shade range on this is really good, but I wish the formula was better because I just don't like the way it sits under my skin. I feel like it makes my under eyes look really heavy. I just don't love it. I think there are other better concealers that you can get at Sephora for like a little bit of the same price or more, or even if you go to the drugstore, you can get cheaper things that I think are better than this, like the Maybelline Fit Me, Maybelline Under Eye Eraser. There's a couple NYX concealers that I really like. This is not it for me. I don't have any loose powders or pressed powders to talk about, but I do have two bronzers I want to talk about. So the issue I have with both of them is the same. So I have the Becca Sunlit bronzer in Bronze Bondi, and it's like the shade itself is fine, but it's a little too shimmer. And the same with this one. It says this is the MAC Refined Golden Bronzing Powder. Somebody gave this to me, and my issue with both of these is they are just they have shimmer in them, and I just don't want my bronzer to be shimmery. Like that's just not a thing. I'm okay with blushes being shimmery. I'm okay with highlighters being shimmery. I never want my bronzer to be shimmery, and both of these have shimmer, and it's just not something I want for myself. So that's why I don't like these. Otherwise they apply great. I think especially Bronze Bondi I think gives you like a really nice like sun-kissed glow. I think maybe it's like I still have like a use for it like on a beach day or something where I wouldn't mind the shimmer because I'm already kind of extra, but just for like day-to-day wear it's not something I want, and that's kind of why these are my worst of the year. For blushes, these are not necessarily like I don't have them because of their formula. It's more for the packaging. Again, I haven't used too many blushes this year, and the ones I have tried that have been new I've generally liked like them. But these Anastasia Beverly Hills blush trios, I think the formula is fine. It's not my favorite, it's not the worst, but I just find the way these pans are, I just find them too small for like my blush brushes. Like I just find them really hard to apply without like getting, like if I wanted, for example, this middle blush, I feel like there's no way to get my blush brush in there without getting these other two shades also on it. Which with this one, when the shades are so different, I think is a problem. This Peachy Love one, the shades are a little more similar, so it's not that big of a deal, but I just find it kind of irritating, especially because like two of these are matte and one of this middle one is really shimmery. And so I wanted a matte look. I obviously don't want the shimmer to get into it. So it's just like, I don't know, I think the packaging could be better. I would have liked it maybe better if it was like two, like it wasn't a trio, it was a duo, and then the pans were a little bit bigger so you could just get your brush in there without like mixing all the powders up. And the powders themselves, they're not like, they're okay blushes, they're not my favorite. Like they're nothing to really write home about. So it's like if the blushes were amazing and the packaging kind of sucked, I'd be willing to like overlook it, but the blushes are like just okay. So I can't really justify the packaging being bad. I can't really justify the packaging being bad when the blushes themselves are not like very good either. I don't have any highlighters. Again, I haven't really tried any new highlighters this year. The ones I didn't like last year are the same ones I don't like this year, so just go watch last year's video like I said. I also don't have any setting or fixing sprays, which like this would be the point in my makeup routine where I would set my face and kind of melt all the powders in. Moving on to eye primer. I like rediscovered this NYX eyeshadow base, which I think was like the first like eyeshadow primer I ever had. And I think I got this because it was white. And like back in the day before I feel like primers, like eye primers were like as big of a deal as they are now, and there weren't as many good options. There was like a thing where you would put like a white base on and just like with the assumption that it would make like colorful shadows pop more on your eyelids. And so I got this for that, and I feel like my issue with this is it just was too sheer. Like yeah, it looked white in the pan, but then you would put it on and it would sheer out completely, and I thought it was a little bit oily. Like I didn't think it did what I wanted it to do. Like I feel like I wanted this to be like NYX's version of like Max Painterly Paint Pot, but it just like the quality was not there. Like it just like, I feel like it creased on me. The white just wasn't really white enough to actually like make any shadows pop. It was a good like beginner, I feel like, primer to just get me in the habit of using eyeshadow primer, but it's not very good. And I like was rediscovering this year, just trying it on under eyeshadows to see if I like liked it, and it like cannot hold a candle to any of like my tried and true primers, like the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion, Max Painterly Paint Pot, the Too Faced Shadow Insurance. Like it just really cannot hold a candle to any of those. And even like in terms of the drugstore, like I think Essence has like a better eyeshadow primer than this. Like I just like really don't think this is anything to write home about. It's not very good. In terms of actual eyeshadows, this is not necessarily an issue of the eyeshadow like formula. I didn't really have any like palettes that I tried this year that were new to me that I didn't like. Like all the palettes I kind of was like not digging were like the same ones I've talked about in my video from last year. But this palette I was just like, I tried and I was kind of just disappointed with how it looked on me. Like again, I think if you had a different skin tone, like if you were darker than me or lighter than me, I think my skin tone is just too medium for this. But the Colourpop Honey, this shadow palette is like so pretty. It's one of those ones where I just like really want it to work. And other people, like when I've worn this, have said it looks really good on me, but for some reason for me, I just like hate how it looks. Like I just find it, I don't know, something about it like on my own eyes, I just find it like washes me out. It makes me look kind of dead. But other people have complimented me so much when I've been wearing this, so I don't know if it's just like in my own head, but I just like, I think it's beautiful. Looking at it in the pan, I love it, but I just find the colors when I put them on just do not, like they don't pop the way I want them to pop, and I find they just make me look kind of like sickly. So I don't know, for my skin tone this just did not work for me, which sucks because I do really love it. And like generally speaking, I love the Colourpop monochromatic palettes. I think they're really good, and I do like recommend all of them. I use the blue one all the time, I use the green one all the time, I use the pink one all the time. It's just this yellow one just did not work for me, and it makes me so sad because these shades are so pretty. Like this Oh Beehive one is like gorgeous. Totally Buggin', also gorgeous. Like all of them, they're so pretty. I really wish they worked on me, but they just like don't. So that's for shadows. I don't have any pencil liners, but for liquid liners, I might have also talked about these last year. I can't remember, but like again, I feel like I give these a shot every year, and every year they disappoint me. They're the KVD Inkwell liners, and I want these to be nice because they're colorful liners. Like this white, if it worked well, it would like be such a, like my savior basically. And this blue and this burgundy, like these would all be really nice colors if they worked. They just don't. Like I find them impossible to use. Like I've used other like liners that are like brushes that come out of little wells. Like my actual liner on my eyes today is the Bomb's Schwing liner, and that one's like the same sort of concept, but it's just like, it's impossible to get like a straight, unbroken, clear line with this. Like it's just impossible to use. The pigment is not there. They just suck. They're really bad. If you wanted like a colorful liquid liner that works better than this, like, and is much cheaper, I don't even know if they sell these anymore. They might have discontinued them because they suck so bad. But like if you want like a cheap one, I talked about this last week in my best of video, but the Colourpop colorful like liquid liners are so good and so cheap, like miles and miles above whatever the hell these are. Like I hate them. I do not recommend them at all. I don't have a mascara. I think all the mascaras I talked about last year, I still stand by them being the worst, mostly because they're expensive, but I just didn't want to rehash that. Otherwise, I haven't really, like all the mascaras I've tried this year have been good, so I don't really have anything to say on that front. I did want to call out something specifically that's new this year because I did not wear lashes last year, but now that I've become a lash believer, I'm not wearing them today, but just in general, I've become more of like a lash person in the past 2-3 months. I have learned that I freaking hate, and it just like splurted out a whole bunch. I hate this Duo strip lash adhesive. The one that comes out of a tube like this, it sucks. It sucks ass. It's the worst thing ever. It's so terrible. It's goopy. It gets all over your lashes. It makes your lashes super messy. Just get like an adhesive with a brush. That's my only recommendation. Like I don't even know if it's necessarily a duo problem. I think the duo adhesive with a brush is, I've heard that one's good. But anything that comes out of a tube like this, and this is usually the one they'll give you for free in kits, garbage, garbage, sucks. Do not do it. It will make your lash experience miserable. It will make you not want to touch lashes for like 6 months until you decide to give it a go with a better lash glue that has a brush. Don't do this. It's shitty. It's like poop. It's like poop in a little tube. It'll fuck up your lashes. It'll fuck up your life. It'll make you angry and pissed off. Do not do it. I don't recommend this. It sucks. I hate it so much. Moving on, I have a couple just like miscellaneous face products that I want to talk about. I feel like I might have actually talked about this in my best of video last year, but now that I've used it a bit more, I actually don't know if I talked about my best of last year. I can't remember. But if I have, don't call me a hypocrite. It's just like after using it more, I've changed my mind about this. This Colourpop freckle pen is really good when you first get it. My issue with this is like the tip. I don't know if you can tell, but the tip has like worn down from like all the like dabbing it on my face I've done, and so now it's like it's like not sharp anymore in the way that like a liner brush would be, because like liner brushes kind of stay sharp because you like pull them, right? With this, because you have to dab it, it kind of wears down on the point, and it gets to the point where there's no way to get like small tiny like cute freckles with it, which is why I just like don't like this. The freck pen or the freck like brush on freckle thing, it's more expensive, but I just think it works so much better. Like this is not bad, obviously, like if you are okay with replacing it pretty frequently, like before it runs out of product, just to like maintain that pointy edge, I think it's fine. But I just think in terms of like long-term use, it just wears down pretty quickly, and it gets to the point where I find that there's no way to make like freckles look realistic after a certain point with this, just because it wears down too much, and then all of them become like really huge. It's not like bad, but it's not great. On the same vein, these Colourpop Cutie Mark like face stamps, I love these just conceptually. Like this one's a star, this one's a heart, and this one's a moon. My issue with these is if you don't like put them on your face at the right angle, and I struggle with this a lot. If you don't like pop them on at the exact right angle, the like circle that the shape is protruding out of will also leave a mark on your face, and so you'll have like a heart with like part of a circle around it, and it kind of looks stupid. Like you don't want that, obviously, if you just want the shape. And I think this is like a really easy fix. Like I think if they just made the like protrusion just a little bit more, then you could just like put it on at any angle and you wouldn't have that issue. But I feel like I find because it's like so like it's not thick enough, if you like put it in and you don't go like exactly straight, or you're like tilted a little bit, it just like will leave like a weird mark on your face, and it just like messes up the whole shape. It's like, obviously it's not like, I'm not saying this is a garbage product. Like I still use these all the time. I think they're great. I find them a lot easier than freehanding, but I feel like sometimes I have to go back in with like a concealer and like clean up around it, and I just find that kind of a little bit annoying, and it's I think something that Colourpop could like fix really easily just by like making the shape pop out a little bit more. It's not a huge deal, but it's also like just like one of those, again, I don't have a lot of like shitty products to talk about this here, so I'm being a little bit nitpicky, but that is an issue I just want to make people look aware of. Like again, I think for the price these are really great. I think they have a lot, they're not bad products, but they do annoy me which is why like I find myself, I reach for them less than I would like to. Like I think if they didn't have this problem, I'd reach for them a lot more, and that's why they're on this list, because I do like them, but I just feel like sometimes I'm just not in like the mood to have to clean up afterwards, and it makes me not want to reach for them. And I feel like if they just made that little tweak, I would use these like every single day, and that's why they're here. Moving on to lips, I don't have any like bullet lipsticks to talk about, but I do have some, or glosses actually, but I have some liquid lipsticks and I have some lip liners. So for worst lip liners, I just want to talk about these like Essence lip liners. These are cheap and they're like not bad, but I just find they don't do what I want lip liner to do, which is I want lip liner to line my lips and then like keep my lipstick where it's supposed to be, like keep it from smudging, keep it from going outside of the lines. I feel like this just fades so quickly that not only does it not have the ability to keep my lipstick, like it doesn't have any longevity, so it just like smears. Like either like not only does it not keep my lipstick from smearing, it just smears on its own, and it doesn't help me at all in what I want it to do. And I feel like because like if it's gonna do that, I just will not put on lip liner. Like I'll just put on a liquid lipstick and like skip the liner entirely. So I feel like for the purpose that I get lip liner, this just doesn't work. I find them kind of pointless. They're not like super expensive, obviously, like they're like $2-3, but I feel like you could just add like another extra couple dollars and get like a much better lip liner from like Maybelline or Colourpop or something that wouldn't like break the bank, but will actually like do what you want lip liner to do, which these do not. And then finally for lipsticks, I have some liquid lipsticks. I think I talked about these last year as well, but they're the Colourpop Ultra Matte liquid lipsticks. I also have the ABH liquid lipsticks and this LA Splash liquid lipstick. And I'm talking about these all at once because I have the same issue with them. Because like COVID's a thing and I've been wearing masks a lot more, I like, even though I think bullet lipsticks are more comfortable, I've been reaching for like matte liquid lipsticks a lot more, just because then they don't smear under your mask and they stay where they need to be, and they like solve a lot of the hassle of like mirror makeup smearing under a mask. But my issue with all of these is, and I know matte liquid lipsticks like do this, but these are so freaking dry, like uncomfortably dry. They flake so bad. They just like sink into the lines of your lips and make your lips look like you're 100 years old, like a vampire that just like emerged from the crypt, and they're just like not comfortable to wear. And I know this is not like, it's not just like an inherent to liquid lipstick issue, because like I have other liquid lipsticks that are just as matte that do really, really well. Like the Joseph Colors liquid lipsticks are matte as hell, don't budge. I hate to give him any props, like I don't think you should buy these products, but I have one Jeffree Star liquid lipstick. That shit, I hate that man. I don't want to own that lipstick, but it was a present, so I have it. But I will say, those don't budge. Like, it does not budge. I only wear it on days where I'm not going to like be in a video because I don't want to like promote it, and that's why the only reason I'm mentioning it now is because I can mention it with the caveat that I think he's a bad person that you shouldn't support. But that lipstick does not budge. My KVD liquid lipsticks do not budge, and they're super matte, and they don't like hurt me. Like, none of those lipsticks hurt me. These are uncomfortable as shit. They don't look good on you. Yeah, they don't budge, but they also look like crap. And like, I think there are other options that don't budge, that don't hurt you and look good. What are they called? Lime Crine? I don't know what's going on with Lime Crine. I don't know if they've like gotten their shit together or if they're still like a super unethical company, but if they're, so like look into Lime Crime if you want to buy from them. But I have a couple Lime Crime lipsticks, super matte, do not budge, look great on your lips, don't flake, don't sink into the lines. Like, you don't need a, I hate the idea that matte liquid lipsticks have to be uncomfortable, because they absolutely do not. There are plenty of examples of like why they don't need to. And like my personal favorites are the Dose of Colors and the KVD ones, because I can buy those without feeling like I'm supporting someone unethical, and they're so comfortable and they look so good and they don't budge. These bad, suck, don't like them. I think that's it. Sorry this was kind of a short video. I just didn't have that many products this year that like were new to me, and I used enough to be like, I hate this or I really like this. But yeah, if you had any products this year that you tried that you just really hated, put them down in the comments below. If any of these products like worked for you and you have any suggestions on how to make them work for me, I would love to hear them. Also put that in the comments below. If you want to follow me on other social media platforms, you can follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, and on TikTok. If you like this video, if you hit the thumbs up button, I'd really appreciate that. And if you want to hang out with me in other videos, I post new videos every Wednesday, and I will see you guys all next week. Bye!